Word's out. Andrew Wiggins is officially back for the Warriors. After a 22-game absence, Wiggins is ready to rejoin the team after dealing with what was reported to be serious medical issues for his pops, Mitchell Wiggins. If you didn't know, his pops was drafted to the NBA in 1983 and went on to play 6 seasons in the league. There was a lot of speculation from the fan base about what Wiggins was dealing with, and with that comes a few weirdos that like to make up rumors. Now that those fake rumors that were circulating got put to rest, let's continue to pray for Wiggins and his pops. But anyways, let's take a look at how dangerous this fully healthy Warriors team could be in the playoffs. Getting Wiggins back moves Dante from the starting lineup back to his more natural role off the bench. After struggling to get consistent wing production all season due to injuries and unavailability, between Wiggins, Clay, Kuminga, GP2, Lamb, and Moody, the Warriors can finally put together a formidable wing rotation. With Kuminga's ascension, plus Wiggins and GP2 added back to the fold, the Warriors are definitely going to be one of the most versatile perimeter defenses in the league. Wiggins isn't going to have much time to get up to speed before the important games start. The playoffs start on April 15th, which is right around the corner. You got to expect it's going to take at least a week for Wiggins to ramp up, so it's very likely the Warriors go into the playoffs with an extremely rusty Wiggins. But hey, I'll take a rusty Wiggins over no Wiggins any day of the week. With Wiggins back, the Warriors' 9-man playoff rotation is set. You got Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Looney. Pool's your 6th man, with Dante, Kuminga, and GB2 as your 7th, 8th, and 9th subs. That's a pretty solid top 9. I put that top 9 against any teams in the league. Knowing Kerr, he's going to find a few minutes for Lamb here and there because of spacing. JaMychal might get situational run as well, in case the Warriors need more size off the bench. But for the most part, it's not many scenarios I'd rather play JaMychal over GP2 regardless of the size difference. Even though he's only 6'3", GP2's a pretty solid help defender, better than a lot of backup bigs around the league if we're being honest. They don't call him a little big man for nothing. These last few weeks of Warriors basketball have been a mix of everything from letdowns to impressive comebacks. The Nuggets and Pelicans games this past week, for example, 2 opposite ends of an emotional fan experience. First, let's start with Denver. The Warriors losing to the Jokic-less Nuggets is unacceptable. If one of Steph or Clay show up, they win. They just needed one of them to perform, but the fact that neither did made it tough. Steph and Clay shot a combined 17 for 56, 7 of 30 on threes. You're just not winning many games when your 2 best scorers are shooting like that. With this game, Steph tricked off any chance of a 50-40-90 season, unfortunately. But yeah, man, this has to be one of Steph's worst shooting nights of the season. It's just unfortunate that it came on a night where they needed to win and control their own destiny. As soon as I seen Jokic was ruled out, something told me they were going to lose this game, bruh. They've had a bad habit of playing down to their opponents all season. Whenever the other team's star players out, the Warriors always find a way to lose somehow. It's mind-boggling at this point. You would think with the sense of urgency they have to avoid the play-in, these are the games they will lock in on. But nah, bruh. The Pelicans game last week was actually one of the rare situations this season where the Warriors were the team that locked in to handle business. The first half didn't start like that though. The Warriors started the game lethargic and unfocused. There was a lot on the line this game. The winner owns the head-to-head tiebreaker for the season. And with how the standings are shaking out down the stretch, you can see why that was important. Even with all that being said, the Warriors still found themselves down 20 by the second half, looking like they were well on their way to getting 30 apiece to ran off the court. That's before Draymond took matters into his own hands. And first off, I want to say I respect what Draymond did. On the surface, it just seems like it's Draymond just being Draymond. But it was more than that. Draymond saw how the first half was going, the lack of urgency and intensity. But Draymond basically said, I ain't going out like no sucker, bro. If dudes ain't trying to hoop, I'm gonna incite some violence and see what happens. First of all, this was a weak double tech. Ingram was the aggressor the whole time. Dre put his hands out to prevent dude from stepping to him. Draymond had that reputation with the refs, so you already know if he's anywhere near the action, the refs are gonna tee him up. This is Draymond's 17th tech of the season, which means one more is a guaranteed suspension. And then, after the mix-up with Ingram, on the very next possession, Draymond and Herb Jones got tangled up on the floor after the whistle. The refs went back to the monitor again, and I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I thought the second take was coming and they was about to get Draymond up out of there. If they gave him another one, not only would he have been ejected from this game, he would have been suspended for the next game too. That would have been a disastrous scenario for the Warriors. With the way the game was going, the Warriors couldn't afford to lose Dre. Up to this point, he was the only one showing some heart. The refs deliberated for a minute, but ultimately ended up not giving Dre the tech. Draymond was riled up, trying to give his team some energy to feed off of. But Steve Kerr was like, hold on, big fella, and decided to take him out for him to cool down on the bench, which led to one of the most hilarious clips of the season. Herb tells him his coach about to sub him out, and Draymond's reaction was priceless. He tried to plead his case to Kerr, but Steve wasn't trying to hear it. I could see it from both perspectives though. On one hand, Draymond was definitely walking the thin line with the refs. He was in the middle of everything, so Kerr wasn't trying to risk him losing control, because the ramifications run much deeper than this game. On the other hand, Draymond's like, bruh, we ain't got no sense of urgency or fighting us. It's up to me as a defensive leader to set the tone and light some type of competitive fire in the team. And thankfully it worked. Draymond's antics got the rest of the team to rally behind him, and the team responded in the second half by turning a 20-point deficit into an 11-point comeback win. So with the return of Andrew Wiggins, how do the Warriors stack up in the West? Well, they just added a guy that was their second best player in the playoffs a year ago back to the team. With everyone back healthy, I don't see a team that's beating these dudes 4 times out of 7. I see other fan bases bringing up the Warriors' road record as the reason the Warriors ain't doing nothing this year. And while I do agree their road record is sorry, the core of Steph, Clay, Dre, and Kerr, in every series these dudes have played, they've stolen at least one road game. 27 straight consecutive playoff series. The streak dates back to the 2013 playoffs. The track record is there. Last time I checked, they're still the defending champs, and I find it hard to believe this team can't get one road game with virtually the same core they won with last year. The biggest difference being Dante in the rotation instead of Otto, and year 2 Kuminga being much improved. I have no reason to bet against the core. They just proved it not even 10 months ago. And until I see these dudes fully healthy drop 4 games out of 7 in a series, the Warriors are still the team to beat, and I don't care what nobody says. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If you stuck around this late into the video, I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. I got more content on the way, so stay tuned.